Look, be quick about it. The blessing I've had from doing these recordings to date, and I've done over 1,000 now, haven't I? In the space of, I don't know, is it 1 year or less? I don't know, I'm not sure. Has been a blessing greater than meditation. Certainly as great as worship. But look, it's a blessing I don't want to enjoy just on my own. You can be doing it too. Don't think that you have to be some wonderful master of words like Marshall. You don't. You just have to be sincere. Sincerely what you are, wanting to bless others. You'll be astonished at the blessing that flows just from you recording your thoughts, your words, your love of God, your problems, your successes and your failures, and your longing to be a blessing to others from the experience that you're going through. Don't waste it. And don't think that it's just personal and private. If it is, you may not release it until you're dead. Then you won't worry about any comeback, will you? But the point is, it's a meditation with God. And He speaks into you. I mean, I don't expect to write what I write. When I start any dictation, any recording, I don't know what's coming. I just know this seems true. I'd better put it down while I can remember it, before it slips out of my mind, which it can do in half an hour and be gone forever again. Or seemingly so anyway. Don't waste it. Build your own talks with God. If it's meaningful to you, there's a lot of people out there to whom it's going to be meaningful to as well. You're not the only one on the path. You're certainly not the only one on the path, the similar path to what you have trod. And you will be able to speak to them better than I do, because you're you and they are who they are. Don't, in all humility, not make the effort, not do it. That's madness. If nothing else, you would do it for pure self-interest if you knew the blessing that it will bring you. Just this activity of recording what's important to you in your life, day by day, it grows at a fantastic rate and complexity and depth in no time at all. I mean, how could I have made over 1,000 recordings in less than a year? Do you think I'm thinking carefully about every word before I say it? You're mistaken. It just flows. It flows because God starts to speak through you and in you. It's real. It's where your life is, your living, your awareness. You speak from the heart, you see, and it starts to flow. Your audience is, in some sense, imaginary, isn't it? But you want to bless them. That's what counts. And that's what will speak to them. And sure, you'll make mistakes and you'll look at some things and think, oh, I don't think that's right. Don't cross it out, in a sense. Don't wipe it out. Don't drop that recording. Sure, write an update. Write a correction. You know, like I did on the last one. I don't think the chronology was right on this. I'm going to put it right. Or I've changed my view on this now. I now think it's more so-and-so. You know, I mean, we need people to admit faults. The last thing in the world we need is people to hide their faults, because then we just think we're the ones with all faults, and these other people get it all right. What absolute nonsense. Do you think I've got it all right? I am certainly not the case. I don't like to admit some of the things I may have got wrong. And I've probably pushed them out of my mind. Let's think about this for a moment, Marshall. But anyway, that aside, can I just get back to the point? It's a great blessing to record what's important to you. And as you record it, you will build fantastically on it. And you'll move towards solution, reconciliation, understanding, insight. You will know that spiritually you're on track. God is working through you, speaks through you, speaks to you. You know, you hold a conversation with God. Don't be dumbfounded. Let the words flow, because you trust him and you know he knows everything about you. What you need to know is everything about him. So you unravel with him what you don't understand, problems you're up against, successes you have. What was the cause of that success? How did I manage that? What was it? What's the essence of this? Why should one be cautious about that? And so forth. In other words, you're going to be a light to people who think your way, who understand your way of living, because that's very close to their way of living. That's unlikely. I'm in the car, parked in front of the lake. There's a bit of grass and shadows of the oak trees, and lots of, ducks and that are just grazing, whatever, and just sleeping in the hazy afternoon sun sort of feeling. And the lake beyond. I mean, there is no traffic light for, goodness knows, a mile probably. It's certainly not visible. All right. So you will get random stuff cropping up in your recordings, and you'll get mistakes. If you think you're going to get a long pause, well, you pause the recording for a while. There's no need to record a very long pause in your thoughts, is there? But do it with a joy and a pleasure, and knowing that it's important to have a record of the successes and failures in understanding, in coping that you have. It'll be an incredible inspiration to you when you listen to it, and he does a greater work in you than through you. But through you he will be an incredible inspiration to others too. You'll be a blessing. Thank you, Heavenly Father. Look, there's a point I should put in here, and that is that your motivation to be a blessing will steer you better than a full ramble as regards the details of some event. So think of yourself, especially with that's it. Think of yourself as when you're trying to help a kiddie. Your concern is for them. You're calling on the resources and experience you've had, of course, and you're trying to help them and steer them, help their understanding accordingly. So you're seeking to encourage and to rescue persons who may be in real need of rescue. Your drive is to be a blessing. You want what you're saying to be a blessing to others. And with that focused, God will honour it. Sure, He'll honour a plea to Him, but you'll be sidetracked if your writing, your recording rather, is just a continual concern for yourself. If rather you have a concern for the truth, because it will help all life, you'll be much more on track. In a sense, be objective. I know it is your personal life, but be objective in the sense that I have found this to be true, as far as I can see. I'm amazed at this, I'm interested in so and so. I think this is a great blessing. This is important because of such and such. In other words, make your thoughts a blessing to others. Thank you, Heavenly Father. I have a lingering concern about this recording. This is the day after or so. And I'm purpose to say that when our eyes are fixed on God, we are less purposed, but more engaged in receiving. Whereas I wanted greatly to encourage you to record, whether by, dictation or even by writing, because it's such a blessing to me. And you might not be at that need yet, that bursting forth of the Spirit within you. You may be at my stage of walking and enjoying nature that I had a long time back, and still have, of course. But even so, don't feel that what others do and express of God is not also well within your scope. Can be lovely pouring forth from you too. We have any completeness of God that is a loveliness to Him. A person without any musical ability can learn to be a musician. Person who really, couldn't write, couldn't spell, like Marshall, can become a writer. A shy person can become a fulfilled public speaker. A young man can become a fully complete father. A young girl can become best in the world. Absolute life to her children. Like my mum. She was still pretty horrible for Dad, but I mean, we're an amazing plurality, aren't we? But do you see, your potential is awesome. Don't deny what God can do through you. That's a nonsense. You know, you can throw yourself into acting. You can throw yourself into worship if you so choose. You can throw yourself into horse riding. I mean, whatever it is. I mean, growing fruit, being a wonderful husband, being an absolute angel to pets, being the champion of life, the Buddha, if you like, or Jesus. It's at your fingertips because of who you are. You're a child of God. You are born of Him, spark of the divine. Awesome being. Your personhood. Not the clothes you're wearing now. You know, Marshall wandering around, where is it? Hamilton, New Zealand. But who you are. Child of the host of heaven. Child of God. Thank you, Heavenly Father. You know, the profundity of John 17 is simply the opening words, Father. You get that right. That relationship to God, our Heavenly Father. Everything follows from that. All the rest is implied automatically. May take you the fancy of Divine Mother. Okay. I'm running with Father. You can run with Mum if you like. Whatever speaks to you in the depth of your being, that's who you are. Thank you, Heavenly Father. Yes, if you really took to heart that opening word, you know, Jesus lifted up his eyes to heaven and said, Father, if you really focused on that, you could have written the rest of John 17 yourself. And that's why the writer did. Oh, my ex-wife Christine is phoning. Let me answer that. Well, I let the recording still run, but the recording automatically stopped when I talked to Christine. She phoned asking if I could drop Aria off at school earlier this morning. And I said yes. And I was going to record it so you got some reality of what my living situation is. But that wasn't to be. I don't know. Perhaps conversations are private, given one of the parties doesn't know that it's going to be public. Thank you, Heavenly Father. I must rush now because I've got to be ready to take my little girl to school. Thank you, Heavenly Father. I think it's the case that if you purpose to be a blessing, you will be far more blessed than if you simply purpose to, for instance, understand, have great wisdom, or be some enlightened, exalted being. If your purpose is to bless all life around you. Well, all life, and that means God, you will find to be your absolute blessing for eternity. Bless you.